Welcome back to Donuts in Space and part 5 of the HMS Kent build. Got a little bit more work done to this wee beastie of mine. We've done a little bit of weathering on the back deck. We've got all of the little figures and stuff in the back as well, in the hangar bay, which is good. And we've also got quite a few of the parts on the roof of the bridge. That's actually all in now, looking fairly good. The only thing that I need to do once I've, basically given this a matte clear coat, is just to put the windows in with a little bit of the microcrystal clear glue. I was going to use clear styrene, but it was proven to be a pain in the backside to try and get that all done around the whole thing. Because there's so many curves and angles and whatnot that you would have had to have cut every single window out individually, and then you would have had to have put an angle on parts of it so they actually butt up together properly. That's proved that was going to be too much of a pain in the bum to do, so I was just crystal clear glue, I'll sort that bit out. We've also got a fair amount of work done to the middle superstructure as well. So we've got the boot bits on there, cradles, smokestacks on, some of the equipment is on there as well, so that's looking good. The only thing that's left to do to this now, I think, is giving it a matte clear coat actually on that. That's the only thing. I mean, I think there's a few more bits that need to go on, but they kind of go on once the ship is actually solidly mounted to the base. I'm pretty much going to approach it the same way as I did with the HMS Daring build. As you can see, the evidence there is still there from the last build, but never mind. I've got the perspex in, similar setup to the Daring as well. I'm just waiting for the base to come in. Hopefully that should come in within the next day or so. This particular part here, which is for one of the main masts, this fits on the back of this part and sort of goes in there. The only things that need to happen to this now is give it a clear coat, do a little bit of weathering to it, and then one of the other things that I'm going to do, which I've noticed, you've got quite a bit of soot build up on the sides, and I'm not sure where that would come from, because you've got the chimney stacks there, and they've got filters on them, so they don't. These ships don't really smoke like they used to back in the day. So I'm not sure where all that soot would have come from, but nevertheless, I'm going to need to try and do that. Now I know that the enamel paint, the enamel panel line accenting stuff from Tamiya won't do that. So I was toying with the idea of using the graphite from the pencil, but that wouldn't do it either, because that's just too grey. So I think I'm going to have to find myself some pastels from somewhere, a nice black one, and try and do it that way as well. And I think I'd actually get better results from using pastels with doing that than I would anything else. The rear, or the hangar deck, we've got all of the curved bits on there. I'm not really sure what they're all about, actually, to be fair. I was wrong as well. There is one of these little red decals does go on that side, so I'll put that on before this actually gets nailed down. I don't want to put this down just yet, if I'm to be honest, because I think there's still some more work that needs to be done around the deck of the ship. so I don't want to put that on until that's ready to go on. But we've got, let me find me tweezers and pick these up. But we've got little decks that go all around the place that basically have little legs on them and everything. They're a little bit bent at the moment, but by the time they go on the model they'll be fine, because they get glued down to the base. These will basically fit into slots that are all around the decks where they go. So I've got some on the bridge section that need to go on, and I've got quite a few that need to go on the hangar deck section. I don't think there are any on here. I haven't seen any, but I haven't really gone that far in the instructions, to be fair. I've also got the little motorboats built. I don't think that these are quite the Gemini craft that were on the HMS Daring, but then that was a newer ship. I'm not going to go too mad with the detail on these, if I'm to be honest. I'll concentrate mainly sorry, excuse me. I'll concentrate mainly on the hull of those, to be fair, because looking at the reference pictures, I have noticed that these little inflatable dinghy craft things, they're undercovers. Now I'm going to steal somebody else's idea that I saw on YouTube, and to create the covers for these, they essentially used tin foil or baking foil, depending on where you're from and what the original usage is of words for that particular product. But yeah, I'm going to use the tin foil to create the covers for those, and then just lightly glue them down with a little bit of the microcrystal clear glue, because super glue, I don't think, yes, that would work, but it would grab hold of it too quickly, whereas with the microcrystal clear, you've at least got a little bit of time to actually get it on there and get it how you want it to be. And then the other good thing about that is the fact that anything that's left over, any foil that's left over that you don't actually need, it can actually be trimmed down with a hobby knife, which is quite good. We've got the I think they're the torpedo launchers, the same things that you've got on the front of the HMS Daring that sit just below the bridge, and they're the flame diverters in PE. And then we've got the actual torpedoes or Seahawk missile systems. I can't remember what they're called, but the legs get chopped off of those and replaced with the photo etch ones as well. So they're done. So at the moment, yeah, she's not looking too bad. We got quite a bit of work done. I mean, all of this, especially this, and all of the little parts that go on there, oh my lordy, is it fiddly work. I mean, I know I said, I think at the beginning that, this kit has got more parts on it than the Daring. And I think I also said that this was going to be easier to build as well, because Airfix kit's qualities aren't that good. But they've obviously upped their game at some point, because the Daring actually went together really well. And I'm not struggling with this one, but it's taken a lot of time. Just to get all of these bits done yesterday, it took me the best part of 6 hours just to get all of those parts together, because they're so fiddly. And well, some of the bits that are on here as well. I mean, you've got the two main smokestacks up here. They're in two pieces, and then you've got two other smaller smokestacks that, and these could actually fit in the hole that you've got for the main smokestacks. They are in two pieces. Beggars belief why they would actually want to do that to you. It's just pure torture. It really is. And then you've got other little bits. You've got this part here on the back. You've got a tiny little bit that goes on there. You've got this part there that's in 3 pieces that you have to put together, which just again beggars belief. This part up here is in 2 pieces. On the bridge, this bit here and then this bit here again in 2 pieces. Why they couldn't actually make those in 1 piece, I have no idea. And then these, I think they're the well, I think American airmen, I think they call them chaffs. But the similar sort of thing, they fire off like hot lots of zinc and stuff like that to try and divert the missiles, or incoming missiles, should I say. They're in 2 pieces. Why they need to be, I have no idea. But yeah, and then these bits here, why couldn't they have just sort of moulded those onto the kit? Because you can see this one here, although I've put them on, it's fallen off, because it's all it's got to anchor onto are just 2 small little bits. I just don't, I really honestly don't understand the logic on that, to be fair. It's actually proving to be a bit of a mare to build all of these smaller parts. On these little platforms, sure, you know, with, if I can pick one up, you know, with these little life raft things, you know, the canisters are separate, then you've got the stands that they stand on that are separate, and then you've got the ledge that they sit on that's separate. And then on the bottom of the ledge as well, you've got little legs to put on, like, you know, this one just here with its little legs, and that one. So I didn't bother putting the legs on those ones, because I thought, well, there's no point in putting the legs on until just before it goes on there, because I realised that with these, because they're only anchored on to the top part, they still flex about and they could break off and you could lose them, and then you're kind of screwed. So I thought, well, at the moment, I'll build those up to the points where they're together, but I won't bother putting the legs on until such time that they're going to get ready to put them on, which won't be just yet, because obviously I've still got a little bit of work to do on the deck. These have got to be glued in permanently, and then the whole thing's got to be sprayed down with the matte clear gloss. So yeah, it's just not worth putting the legs on those until they're ready to go on, because that'll be one of the last things to go on. I think these little platforms will be the last things to go on before the photo etch, before the railings go on. But yeah, that's how much of a pain in the bum it is, like 6 hours just to do that bit there, and then just put a few bits on this section and a few bits on the bridge section as well. Yeah, pain in the backside. I really don't think Trumpeter actually thought through what they were doing when they built that, unless somebody thought, oh, I know, we'll just make sure it's a high part count because that's what people want, which couldn't be further from the truth. I would rather have a kit with fewer parts where you've actually got one particular part that is actually one piece rather than 2 or 3 pieces. And they can do it. It just depends on really how old the tooling is for this kit, I guess. But hey ho, never mind. But yeah, that's where we are with the kit at the moment. I'm just going to carry on and get some more work done to this wee beastie. I'm not really sure what I'm going to work on next actually at the moment. There's still a lot of stuff. I'm not going to bother doing any of the photo etching on the masts at all at the moment. There's just no point in doing that until such time that that's actually in. So I think it might be getting a little bit of weathering done to the deck actually, and then getting the hull matte clear coated. I think that's going to be the thing, and then also get the photo etch painted. They actually sit on, if I can pick one up, they on these little platforms, and those little platforms will basically sit on the front on these little areas like so, And I think actually the one thing that I prefer about this kit to the daring, and it could be the way that I had to build that caused the problem, but none of the superstructure parts actually sat down properly. There was always, no matter what you did, there was always a tiny little gap underneath them, and it was just so slight that it would have been nigh on impossible to actually, especially with the way that they're built up, it would have been nigh on impossible to actually get any kind of filler into those gaps, to be fair, especially with all the sort of nooks and crannies and greeblies that were all over the ships as well. Whereas this one, it actually does sit flush with the base. I mean, what I've done is around, you can see, I mean, you can see the grey bits there. Basically, as I've sort of been going along, I've just been slowly removing the paint from those areas, and also any paint build up that might be like on the inside edges of the kit, so it can actually continue to sit down flush on those parts. And every time I test them, they sit down absolutely flush without any gaps, which is absolutely fantastic. That helps a great deal with that. I've not got the aftermarket parts like the gun, because I can't actually see the deck gun in resin from anybody, to be fair, unless you buy the detail set for this particular for this particular ship. Now the only problem with that is the fact that to buy the detail set you get a whole heap of photo etch, including stuff for the bridge and everything, etc, etc. Yeah, there's a whole heap of stuff in that kit. The only problem is it's 90 quid, which is, I think, £60 more expensive than the actual kit. And I was like, no, I'm not paying that amount of money just to fiddle about with photo etch and get a main deck gun. I thought, no, I'm not going to do that. So I'm just going to, the kit gun, put my teeth back in. The kit deck gun it looks alright, to be fair. It kind of looks as though how it should do, and then there's some photo etch to go on it as well, which is good. So the photo etch will address any issues on that, to be fair. With the photo etch as well on the Seahawk missiles, or whatever they're called, you know, that addresses quite a few of the problems with that as well. And then the what I believe are 30 caliber machine guns that they sit up there that are similar to the ones that are on the Daring. The kit ones from Trumpeter, funnily enough, actually look better than the ones that you got with the Airfix kit. So I'm thinking, well, the only thing that would need to really be replaced, if I was going to be pedantic about it, is the main deck gun. And I'm not replacing that, so I'm not going to replace them. It's as simple as that. Sometimes you need to know when to stop buying all of these detail sets, I think. Well, I do anyway. So yeah, I'm not, apart from the photo etch that I think cost me £25 or something like that. Alright, it might not be an absolute spot on representation of HMS Kent. However, it'll be close enough, and close enough is good for me, to be fair. You know, I'm not being a rivet counter when it comes to doing these builds. So I'm not worried about that, to be fair. So yeah, I'm going to leave this video here, guys, and it's most probably getting a bit long now. I've been rambling on about Trumpeter and whatnot. So I'm going to call it quits, and I will catch up with you in the next episode, which I do believe is going to be episode 6. So I shall see you in episode 6, guys. So until then, thanks for watching, and as always, please do take care.